Thank you for your patience. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission to order on this Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. It is now 4:39. Meeting will begin. Just take another quick moment of silence. Okay. Cynthia, can we get a roll call?
Merrick,
Here.
Soto Presley, Kasperky,
Here.
Myricks,
Here.
Here. For the record tonight, we have 4 present with 1 absent. Number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. And number 4, communication.
none were received.
Okay. Number 5, our minutes. That's dating June 16th, 2020.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission for June 16th, 2020.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for our minutes that are dating June 16th, 2020. Is there any final questions or discussion on these minutes? Okay, roll call, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley, Kasperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Upridge.
Yes. Motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, that brings us to number 6, the essential matters for tonight. We have letter A, our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. It looks like there's 4 applicants.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the homebound conditional forgivable loan for the 4 applicants.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. There are 4 applicants. Can we have a roll call on that?
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley. It looks like she's muted.
I'm here.
Okay, we're doing roll call for homebound.
Yes, I reviewed the notes. Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Upridge.
Yes. Motion passes now 5 yes. Commissioner Myricks is in attendance now. Thank you. I mean, Soto Presley.
Soto
Sorry.
Presley.
Okay, letter B is approval of lease agreement between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce for 5244-46 Holman Avenue.
This is just a renewal of the lease?
No, I see Africa's on. I don't know if you want me to explain Africa.
Yes, and then I can jump in. I had to unmute myself.
Okay, so this is a new lease with the Chamber of Commerce. What's happening is that this building is what most of us refer to as the old HTC building. It was technically owned by the HTC and the Indiana and the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce in partnership. In an entity called the Indiana Building LLC. The Indiana Building LLC is donating this property to the Hammond Redevelopment Commission because this is an essential property as part of the Jeff Speck downtown plan. So as part of the donation, the two members, HTC has already moved out of the building, but the Lakeshore Chamber wants to remain in the building. We want the chamber to remain in the building. So this is a lease agreement with the chamber. They're going to move out of that first floor space as soon as we can make space available for them on the second floor. And this is the lease agreement for that.
But it's basically we're renewing with the chamber. They're just changing their spot.
That's right. But we're now going to own this building, which we didn't before. So that's why.
Oh, we didn't fully own it before? Okay.
No, the HDC and the chamber owned it. They're donating it to us.
Mr. President, unless anybody has any further questions, I move for the approval of lease agreement between Hammond Redevelopment Commission and the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce for 5244-46 Holman.
I second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Doesn't look like there's no more questions. Let's have roll call on letter B.
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casper Key,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Upridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Thank you. Letter C, approval of professional engineering services for the 1,500,000 gallon Columbia Avenue tank project.
Are we
Members
close?
of
Where are
member-
we? What keeps coming before us?
members of the commission, in your packet, you will find
Commission, and can you hear me okay? Mr.
It sounds like,
Hopperich?
yeah, Dean, I can kind of hear you. Go ahead again.
I'm sorry,
like
I must
the
be on
city-
delay.
Can you hear me, city engineer?
I can, but I'm delayed. I have a bad signal. Perhaps Africa can present. I don't have a good signal where I am.
Okay.
members of the commission. If you look in your packet, you will find an estimate for professional services for engineering services for the Columbia Avenue tank. As you know, previously you received a bill regarding this, and this is just a further proposal for services that will be billed at the time and expenses based on the existing rate structure and the contract's existing terms. So this basically is for additional engineering services to review Dixon's calculations and analysis for the continued coordination and engineering support. And I apologize, something is wrong with mine as well. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I did, Africa. Thank you for
Okay.
jumping in.
I heard you fine. It just seems like this. Where are we on this project?
And I'll go in and I'll let Dean jump in as well. We've had someone come out and look at it, and this is for additional engineering services. Dixon say they gave us some calculations and an analysis regarding the tank project. So this is just a review of their calculations and analysis that would be necessary for the repair of the tank.
S-L-A.
And I believe Dave is waving his hand.
Can I try to give this a shot?
T.
I know Dean's still talking, but it's hard to hear. So, Wally, to answer your question, this is a second engineering company. And you're going to say, well, why do we need a second engineering company? Because
Exactly what I would say.
when we started the tank project, you may have noticed it stopped. And the reason it stopped is because as they started the painting project, part of the roof, and I'm going to get this wrong, and so Dean, I know you can hear me, so just forgive my layman's term. The top started to buckle, or like it looks like there's a dent in the top of it. Okay, that tank's been there for a long time, and it had to do with the steel beams that support the top of that tank. Okay. Dixon stopped and said, hey, you've got a couple of different options here for what to do to get the top, you put different steel in there, or you basically, like you do with a dented car, pull it out. Here are your options. And here's how much they're going to cost. And neither one of those options were real thrilling from a cost standpoint. All right. Because we felt that it was possible that Dixon should have known, based on their analysis beforehand, what was going to happen when we started to do this painting and the prep for the painting. We thought maybe their methodology that they proposed for the painting was part of the problem. So rather than just agree with it, we wanted a tank industry consultant, a separate engineer, to look at it to confirm that we actually were doing the right thing, and that which one of the two options that Dixon was proposing, or potentially some other option, was the way we should be going. So this bill and this proposal is for their review of basically Dixon's past work, which we deemed necessary because things didn't go as planned.
Can you hear me now?
How's that for an answer, Dean?
That's fantastic. Am I clear now?
You are.
Okay, good. So I hopped on a local internet. I apologize. I had a bad signal here. That was very clear, Dave. That was very succinct. So to try to provide a little additional clarity, what you have before you is a First Amendment to professional services with tank industry consultants. Their first effort was to review Dixon's design, original design, maintenance, inspection report, plans and specifications for the tank, the condition assessment following the buckling of the roof of the tank. And this occurred, and forgive me if I'm repeating what Dave said, it occurred as we believed it was a result of removal of the internal trusses to the tank that the engineer believed were not necessary to, they were only used as an aid to construct the tank originally. When they removed about 2/3 of the trusses, the roof of the tank buckled, and that alarmed us. And so I asked this commission if they could have a third-party peer review of the design to make sure that we're doing the right thing. We did get quotes from the contractor. The contractor said we can replace the steel and provide some external roof stiffeners. That's going to be about $600,000, or we can pull the dent out, so to speak, and put the roof stiffeners on, and that'll be $400,000. So at that point, we needed to really double check what we were doing. And so we hired TIC to do the review. And then once we got a determination from them, they found that we needed to have TIC review or it's called a finite element analysis model, a computer model of those stresses on the tank, and to make it a recommendation on how to move forward or concur. So this second step is the services to review the engineer's computations to make a and a report on their findings, and to coordinate with Dixon to provide us with an appropriate fix to the tank. And that's in progress now. And so what we're asking the commission to consider is a $14,400 increase in the TIC's contract amount to cover the cost of the additional engineering services at this time. And I'll take any more questions.
Many times this has been engineered. Didn't somebody drop the ball here somewhere?
Well, so this is not engineered of the tank. This is a review of the original engineer's specifications and the so basically we hired an engineer to help us with the maintenance of the tank. And when the tank buckled, we were concerned that the original engineer may have made a wrong determination. And so we are doing this to protect the city. So we have yet to get the final conclusions of this situation. But when we talked to the original engineer, it is their opinion that the roof buckled as a result of the contractor's over tightening of the cables that run from the top of the tank to the ground. And these cables are used for keeping the curtain, the curtain that contains the lead that's on the tank when it gets removed. It basically keeps the curtain from touching the tank, which would foul the paint. The engineer believes that those cables were over tightened. They could fairly easily be done, and that's what provided too much stresses on the center top roof of the tank. And when you look at the failure, it really was. That conclusion kind of makes sense based upon the way that the roof failed. And so we are trying to clarify really who's responsible, right? Was it the engineer's determination to remove the trusses that were the cause of the failure? Was it the contractor's effort, that what they did that caused the failure? And then eventually we're gonna determine who's at fault, if there is any to be made. We think there is, but we're really just going through our due diligence. And if we are absolutely on the track that we will determine who's at fault and make a case, a claim to their insurance to recover the cost of these repairs.
That was going to be my next question. Will the costs be recovered? So if I can ask a question.
Sure.
So Mr. Button, you were saying that wait, was it the contractor? Well, no, we're trying to establish where the initial problem lies, whose responsibility it was. Oh, yes.
Correct.
Okay, so to kind of boil Wally's question down, it's a solid maybe. Somebody may have dropped the ball. It may be a situation where nobody dropped the ball and this tank just failed based on age or whatever. We're going to have it at the end of this. What Dean's saying is we're going to have a determination that whether somebody dropped the ball, and if so, who, whether it's the engineer, the contractors, or whomever. And if somebody dropped the ball, the next determination is can we prove that they dropped the ball by a preponderance of the evidence, which would then allow us to make a claim against that person's insurance company, and if not their insurance company, through a court, which we will pursue if we are confident we can show that this is somebody's fault as opposed to time, wear and tear, et cetera.
But
So
right now, it's way past the definite maybe. It's quite positive that we pay for all the errors.
However, at this time, it sounds like there's nothing more that we can do but approve or think about approving the professional engineering services so that we can get to the point of what actually did occur.
I don't disagree.
You're right,
Yeah.
Wally. We're gonna need to accrue these costs one way or another. And the reason is I can't just take that tank out of service. So I gotta do it up front and then look at whether I can recoup it on the back end.
Just for giggles, what, to construct a new tank with, where would that be?
A tank of that size, and because it's an elevated tank, I would project in the $5 million range. That's probably that may be low.
Ouch.
I just did one in a neighboring community that was not this big, that was 3.5 million.
Wow.
Well, that answers that.
Well, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the professional engineering services for the 1.5 million gallon at Columbia Avenue tank, for the Columbia Avenue tank project.
Second?
Tony, you're muted.
Okay. I had a quick question. Dean,
Yes, sir.
I like your explanation, and thank you, Attorney Wexland, too. Well said. Besides the aging factor there, yes, the tank is very old. Is it possible, Dean, though, two things could have went wrong, like you said, not saying on one out or the other, but maybe both played a factor. The over tightening by the contractor and the removal of the trusses. They both played a factor, not just one.
It is possible that it could be one or the other, and in review of the original computations, there appeared to be really high stresses at the top of the tank, and that's really what alarmed us and led us to believe that this could be an issue. And so the two engineers are working out the details of whether or not that did in fact play a part. But our indication now, at least up front, is that we're leaning more towards an imbalanced and over tightening of these cables. Okay. That could be the problem. But until we flush this all the way out, we're not going to know.
No, that's fine, Dean. That's kind of what I thought. But all right. There is a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion or questions? Okay, then roll call, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperkey,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Upridge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. All right, letter D is approval of First Amendment to option agreement for real property commonly known as 15-49 State Street.
Hello, members of the commission. If you look in your packet, you will see an amendment for the property commonly known as 15-49 State Street. I don't know if you remember, that property is owned by Hammond Redevelopment Commission. We do have an option with, I believe it's 35 State Street LLC. And they're in the process of, they're actually working with an environmental company that's in the process of trying to seek out some of the former insurance policies, but due to COVID-19, a lot of things have been stalled. So they're asking for an extension because a lot of the court cases and various things have been stalled in light of COVID-19. So they are asking for an extension of this, but they are moving forward. We're trying to remediate the property so they can purchase it or try.
Mr. President, okay. I move for the approval of the First Amendment option agreement for real property commonly known as 15-49 State.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of First Amendment to option agreement for real property commonly known as 15-49 State Street. Can we get a roll call, please?
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopridge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. All right, letter E's are bills, register of claims. I think there was a new one added. Or a new summary of them anyway. Did you guys get that today?
No.
Yeah.
When was that sent out?
They were emailed today.
I have R58693.
Oh. It's actually the register of claims dated June 24th, 2020 through July 20th, 2020. R58698 through R58829.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for our register of claims dating June 24th, 2020 through July 20th, 2020. That's claim R58758 through claim R58829. Is there any further questions or discussion on these claims for staff? Okay, roll call, please, on the claims.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopridge.
Yes. Motion passes with 5 yes. Okay, there's some new and unfinished business items tonight. They were like emailed earlier today, so hopefully some of you guys got to print them out. If not, then we'll go over them. I think the first one, we'll just start with the First Amendment to agreement between the City of Hammond acting by and through its Redevelopment Commission and United Neighborhoods, Inc.
Members of the commission, in your package, you'll find the First Amendment between Hammond Redevelopment Commission and United Neighborhoods, Inc. for a property on Wallace Road. This was previously in the packet for the March meeting, but in it, as you can see, it was presented March 6th. The problem is soon after that, COVID hit, and the structure of our meetings became a little different. So we wanted this to come before you at this time. I spoke to Dennis Radowski today. He said he is online. He is in line with the milestones and the deadlines as submitted.
Okay.
I move for approval said agreement.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call on that?
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. The other item is Sire Plumbing. Looks like some work to be done at the Hammond Police Garage.
Mr. Chairman, this is Dean Button again.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, there was a collapsed sewer that runs along the north face of the police garage on Holman Avenue. And so we've contracted, or the recommendation is the contract with Sire Plumbing to make those repairs. This is in the amount not to, it's time and materials with an amount not to exceed $6,000. We expect that to come in last. It's only going to take about maybe a day or day and a half to get the work completed, and they'll put the concrete back in front. And so I have reviewed this with the Chief of Staff. He agrees with my recommendation, and that the source of funds would be the downtown TIF fund. Thank you. I'll take any questions.
No, they're a reputable contractors, so I'm pretty good with this.
Thank you.
I make a motion for the approval of the agreement for Slayer Plumbing for the Hammond Police Department for the boiler repair.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call.
Merrick,
yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Kespricky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopbridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, City Engineer Dean Button. Is there any more new unfinished business?
I would like to address our commission briefly. I just wanted to apologize for being late and not, I've been having a problem with my connection. Last week I wasn't able to get on at all. And this week I was having a problem with Zoom. So that is why I was late. I would like to extend my apologies.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Do your students get the same pass?
Huh?
Do your students get the same pass? I'm kidding. I said, do your students get the same pass?
I'm a reasonable woman.
All right. I'm kidding. Is there any more new and unfinished business, or was that all of it?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you, Africa. Well, if anybody else have any further comments? If not, then we just need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. You all signify by aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned. Good night, everyone, and
Night, everyone.
Good night.